Soon and very soon, we are going to Bopi Hosh. No more curry behavior. We are going to Bopi Hosh. Bopa, Bopa, Bopa Mkwanazi. Soon and very soon, things are happening. Welcome to another episode of The Dissection. We gotta sing. We know why the caged bird sings, and we gotta sing on The Dissection just to get the juices flowing, set the energy right. Today, reports have emerged that General Khumalo is reinstated as the head of crime intelligence. Whew, that's a hot development. And if that is accurate and he is back at work, there are many people who are crying some tears of bitterness right now, some tears of recrimination right now, because the regret levels are escalating, the panic levels are escalating, because there are some people in mansions in Sandton who last time raids happened at their house, Kenny Kunene was there. Another time, Teto was there. The Hawks came through, helicopters. It was a movie, a drama, a series, the one that Tupac told us about. In any event, panic levels will be escalating if General Khumalo is back on the job with full effect. The bail negotiations, the court process is still happening. The NPA has been objecting to the bail conditions being reduced. And that has always been a peculiar development in all of this. And now it seems as if as the public gets to know more, after the performance of Andrea Johnson, the performance of Advocate Shamila Batoy, both of which were dismal performances which did not advance their case, things have shifted. But further, after the dismal performances, because the performances of Andrea Johnson and Advocate Shamila Batoy were bad, but it got worse. It just got worse because we had Hosh Fessa, Mary DeHaas coming into parliament. She started off, as somebody said, as a professor, and then she left the committee meeting as Miss DeHosh. Sorry, Mary, Mother Mary, quite contrary. So that was a horrific performance. And Brown Envelope Mogotsi continues with his horrific performance as the the Madlanga Commission is going through its V process, which I explained that they're going up in their allegations in the second stage against implicated people. So the implicated are going to come in. They're starting with Brown and they're working their way up. So those are horrible performances, and I think as a result of the heat that is now emerging, behind the scenes there's been some concessions, some negotiations, and the concession that appears to have been made here is that Khumalo should go back to work. And that's correct. They need to normalize how this is all happening. And those bail conditions should not be, the relaxation application should not be opposed. I think that the sensible thing to do is to allow Khumalo to go back to work. Why is that the sensible thing to do in the first instance? It's because these charges don't make sense. They relate to a human resources matter. Khumalo is not even the one who made the appointment. 6 different people were charged. The whole argument that it was state capture and it was being prevented in advance is just a bogus argument that does not hold any water, to be quite honest with you. And that's the argument that was presented by Advocate Andrea Johnson. So, in principle, these charges were, in my view, an abuse of the legal system, the criminal justice system, to put on the bench somebody who was doing critical work, and that work, we must never forget, was arresting individuals such as Katiso Molefe, whose activities we have seen in video, photographic information, cell tower information. We have metadata that we have seen messages. We heard from witness X, witness A, B, C, D. We understand the full extent of what the Gauteng counterintelligence operation was working on. So the fact that Khumalo is back at work is a good thing, a good development. The charges in principle were never correct. And I think you could tell the members of parliament also were very skeptical of the way that these charges got to be rolled out, because Fatal Adams gets this document under his door, quote unquote. He goes to the police stations, various police stations, while the cops are investigating this. He goes to IDEC. IDEC rushes to investigate this. even while they haven't investigated Hangwani Maumela, who has been implicated, assets seized, all of that. And they have the powers, according to Section 28, to do that very thing. They say, no, we're waiting for a referral. Write us a referral. That's not necessarily the way it works. So I think there's a concession and an understanding that even in Parliament, that argument is not going to fly. And people are interested in finding ways to land this plane. At some point, there's going to have to be something done because the public has an appetite to see justice. The public has a deep understanding of this story. The old tactics of using mainstream media to mislead the public are not working. Se dissector, se SMWX, se podcast and chila. The point I'm making is we can have discussions outside of a mainstream media platform, compare notes, and empirically ascertain what is credible and what is not credible. And that has helped. Social media has helped because abantu abasibuy iskelem. They're not buying the nonsense that has sometimes been pushed on mainstream media to advance certain people's agendas. And I think that's what's frustrated Sibiya. That's what's frustrated Mr. Marcel Stewart James, because they're like, oh no, but the public is not foolish. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. That's basic mathematics. So Khumalo is actually going to Parliament, and this development happens at a very interesting time because he's going to go in and be able to give Parliament other perspectives around everything that has been playing out, and also give Parliament rebuttal of some of the statements that people have been making. Andrea Johnson, Advocate Andrea Johnson, Advocate Jamila Batoy, Mother Mary DeHaas, Grandmother Mary DeHaas, DeHosh, Brown Envelope Mogotsi. He may even corroborate stuff that Nkabinde has said. Nkabinde flipped sides. Yesterday, he flipped. He was like, I'm out of here. Y'all can sink if you want, but I'm out. I'm going to see what my future is, but it's not with you guys. And Nkabinde implicated Paul O'Sullivan, Robert McBride. He implicated Matthew Siseko. And you should go watch a video that I posted earlier today. After you watch this video, that video it's promise you'll love it. I'm trying to add the morning session so that, I can break up these things and try to follow, because there's no team here. It's just one man. So I can't do some of the things that the big networks do. So I have to sometimes break the load with myself. Sometimes I have to wake up super early to watch the stuff and catch up. Sometimes I have to stay up till super late and then wake up early and record and try to fit it into my day. But I love doing this. I love serving the Hosh Curry community, the Hosh Nation. The dissection, the eminent dissectors. I'm here for you. I do it for you guys. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed from wherever you may be watching, Australia, London, Texas, New York, wherever you're watching from, and we have a global audience, don't be surprised. We've got people watching from Germany. We've got people watching from India. If you're watching from around the world, tell us where you're watching from. But wherever you are, whether you're in Joburg, Cape Town, whether you are wherever you may be, subscribe. Let's hit 130,000 before the end of the month. We've got 10 days. We're on 127. Let's push. If you may think you're subscribed, by the way, just check and make sure you're subscribed. So Khumalo will be in Parliament. That's going to be a big thing. Today, Brown Mogotsi continued with the roast. The tenderism. That man is falling off the boat. There's so many lies that they caught him in. Let me just show you one of the lies from the beginning, because he came in there and they were like, from the jump, we're not letting you breathe. If you thought yesterday was an anomaly, no, we are on you. The professional liar, he was being fried. It was like a Justice League. Here you've got Advocate Chakaskon frying him. Then on the other side, you've got the commissioners brying him. He was being surrounded. I don't know what it feels like to have a whole country watching you being roasted like that till you are tender. Tenderism. They hit him with a tenderism. Oh, so watch this. This is part of it.
I've listened quietly and attentively to your testimony. There's a few things I need to clarify. And I need really short answers because I want to give Mr. Chaskalson his time back. So from 10 o'clock, I'm hoping that he will have his time back. Chair asked you about the oath and whether you consider it binding on your conscience. In the February 2025 affidavit, you give your residential address as Shawelo, Soweto. Have you ever lived in Shawelo, Soweto?
Correctly.
When?
2927 Malo Street, Shawel.
In?
Malo Street, Shawel. I still lived.
When did you live there?
1990, in the 90s.
So
Even this year, we held a funeral at home. It's a home.
in February 2025, you did not live in Shawelo, Soweto. In your affidavit, in your statement at paragraph 15, you say you were an Umkhonto weSizwe operative in 1993.
In the SDU.
Yes.
SDU was the organization in South Africa. I never went outside some countries.
Wait for my question. Were you ever an Umkhonto weSizwe operative?
Yes, in the SDU, that's correct. Umkhonto weSizwe had SDU, Self-Defense Unit.
Yes. Do you know that Umkhonto weSizwe was disbanded in 1993?
Yes, I'm aware.
Yes. So, as a 13-year-old, you would have been an Umkhonto weSizwe operative in the SDU in 1993, as a 13-year-old.
No, I was not 13 years old. I know you, Commissioner, you are bringing it on the basis of my birthday era. I was not actually born in 1979. I was born in 1977.
So that's another lie in your affidavit.
No.
When you said you were born in August 1979. That's another lie.
No, Commissioner, it's not a lie. Commissioner, my ID number, my date of birth in the Home Affairs, even my mother knows. I was born in 1977.
Do you have any form of policing training? Formal policing training?
No.
Do you have any form of intelligence gathering training? Any formal training?
Clandestine training. Yes, formal you mean with qualifications?
Yes.
No.
You don't have qualifications?
No. The training was different.
Do you have any form of qualification that involves forensic investigations?
No.
But now you want this commission to believe that in 2020, you were hired to investigate irregularities within crime intelligence.
Commissioner.
It's hot. The man has no training. The man doesn't know his own birthday. The man joined Umkhonto weSizwe when he was 13. He seems to think that he can change it and fix it by saying, no, it wasn't 79. It was 77. That makes you 15 when you join Umkhonto weSizwe. What 15-year-old will be doing self-defense training in Umkhonto weSizwe? Come on, guy. Come on. But also, it doesn't solve the other problem of the dishonesty is that it had been disbanded in 93. So whether you were 13 or 15, it's irrelevant because the entity itself also didn't exist. You know, when somebody lies so much, they have to even say, even my mother knows. Even my mama. Even mama. Oh, my mama, yes. Mom, or my mama. Or my mama. That's where he took us. Guess what, guys? I made something really cool for you guys. I'm going to move to the second clip where we got an understanding of some things. But I made an organogram for you. And I'm going to show it now on the screen so you can see the organogram. As you can see, Hosh Curry Industries, headed here by Hosh Mambazo. We still don't know, because we don't know if we're ever going to get to know the full Big Five. So we have to also construct our own organograms here. Hosh Mambazo, who is the Chief Executive Officer? Who is Hoshua Do? You got an uncle in the furniture business. Hoshua Do, is it in the banking business? Hoshua Do, we don't know. Because there's a Big Five. Is there a buffalo? Or what you call it? Or an elephant? Or what? We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So, Hosh Mambazo, Executive Officer. Then you've got Katiso Mulefe there. I put him as Director of Operations. Then we go through, so you see the column which is on the far left, we've got the crime column, we've got the policing column, and we got the intelligence column. So if you look on the left, the chief hospital looter there, we now know is Hangwani Maumela. And we now know, even from the clip that's going to play next, that Hangwani is the senior person, right? He's the chief of Vusimatlala, and it's been established now that they have multiple partnerships doing multiple businesses across across tender South Africa space, the tender space, the government contract space, the Hoshkari behavior. They both love Hoshkari mamas, these ones here. The yellow bones with the yellow thighs. Woo! And it's so ironic that it is this love of yellow thighs that has put them in these yellow lies that they now find themselves in, where people are in jail, people having assets seized, and people asking legitimate questions about when are you going to get arrested. So Hangwani is the chief hospital looter. Then we have Vusi Matlala, violence manager. Then we have Brown Mogotsi, the professional liar, the middleman, the CR17 campaigner. That part hasn't been investigated. People now call him a fixer, which is I thought an interesting way of rebranding him at the last minute, because journalists told us that they knew him as a CR17 campaigner. He's clearly been a guy who raises funds for people who are running for president. Where does he get the funds? Are all of the funds coming from entities such as Vusi Matlala? Are they coming from entities such as Hangwani Maumela? And by the way, I don't think Hangwani is the boss. I think his mother, Mboneni, is the boss. Remember, she's the one who went to high school with President Ramaphosa. Hangwani Maumela has another relationship with the president, and the president denies that he knows him like that. But we know that Hangwani's aunt was married to the president. So there's a lot of interconnections there, but I don't think Hangwani is the boss. I think that he's the managing director of his mom's enterprise, Maumela Looting Enterprise. But we know that this is part of Hoshkari Industries, South Africa. And Vusi Matlala is the violence manager. Brown Mogotsi, we know he's the middleman. Calvin Rafadi, he's the tech specialist. And then we've got some other guys there on the criminal side. Diego Mabusela, Tsakane Matlala, she was there. Not Calvin Rafadi, but Michael Puletau and others are in that particular list, right? Then you look at the policing column. There's a lot of names there, so I had to leave some people. But it looks as if General Shadrack Sibia is the chief police management of this enterprise. I'm just using different titles because we don't know what they call each other in organized crime. Organized crime has an organogram, right? So General Shibiri, he's their operations manager. We've got General Feroz Khan as implicated here. He may be working in KZN counterintelligence for the cartel. We've got General Sinona, who's with KZN Hawks. Their roles could be handling whatever needs to be done in KZN. There are ports, there are drugs that have gone missing from ports. Based on the allegations right now, it seems as if that's what is being implied. Then you've got Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi there, Captain Mahotle, Brigadier Mukwena at the bottom of the pyramid. There's a few other names that have left, all right? Captain Mahotle, if you remember, was the ballistics guy who basically tampered with the report after having said that he knows that the guns have been implicated in a variety of things. Then on the intelligence side, and by the way, you need to watch the Paul O'Sullivan episode. It's brilliant. It's got some key information. Came out earlier today. On the intelligence side, you've got Paul O'Sullivan. I've put him as the chief intelligence officer of this operation as alleged. I don't know for certain. I'm talking about as alleged. I got to sprinkle this whole episode. Disclaimer. This episode is all of the allegations covered at the ad hoc committee and at the Madlanga Commission. Caveat, we have no reports yet. We are only going on what we are seeing and using the reasonable person standard legal training, common sense to try to make and understand what's going on as the match is playing out. So that's your legal disclaimer. Please, I don't want any Jimmy, unless it's Jimmy, I've subscribed. Jimmy, tell them to subscribe. That's the only Jimmy call we need right here. So then you've got Robert McBride, right, who is the intelligence manager as well. Matthew Siseko, he's at IDEC. He's also in the intelligence side. Junaid Johnson, not implicated, but there seems to be some rivalry, and that's why I'm putting him here. We don't know, but Nkabinde was making some serious allegations around this column yesterday, and it's worth understanding what those allegations are. Again, watch the episode from earlier. So there you have it. That's your organogram. It's a gift. You see, I asked for spiderweb thingies, and I also give you the organogram myself, right? I gave you the organogram too. So I also, you know what I mean? Don't talk about it, be about it. That's what they say. Don't talk about it, be about it. Now, let me show you this clip here of the question that what's his name? Brown Envy was asked, Brown Envelope Mogotsi was asked about his conversations. And we get some interesting details here. Look, I'm not going to cover everything Brown says going forward because he's a liar. But what I'm really focused on is trying to get what the commission has, what the commission knows, and what the commission has already extracted so we can get an understanding of where they may be going with this. So you can get from this exchange, and I'm going to play it for you, that they already have an understanding of the conversations that were happening between Brown and the minister. So the minister is now in trouble because it does look as if Brown was having more conversations with him than he was willing to admit. He's going to have to explain, and it's not going to be easy for him to explain here at the commission as in the ad hoc committee where they were not pushing back as much and didn't have all of the... So those devices that were seized, clearly they are being used here because now Brown is even panicking like, no, but the devices. So here, Brown says at a critical time that they've had a development, and the development seems to be that they wanted to get the IPID people to get the members of the GCI ops arrested because those people, if you recall, had raided VIP security, taken the guns for ballistic assessments, etc. This is all happening late in December. And then he's also messaging Vusi Matlala at the same time, asking him for IPID. And we saw from the messages Khumalo already shared with us that conversation that was happening between Matlala and Brown Mogotsi leading up to the 31st of December when the decision to make this announcement was made. So it's very clear right now that the decision to disband the political killings task team was as a result of an impression that people had that the political killings task team was the task team that was going after Katiso Molefe and Vusi Matlala. It's clear now. It's clear. Vusi Matlala wetsa manyala. You wetted manyala by messaging Brown Mogotsi recklessly like this. We've established even now that Hangwani Maumela is involved. That is an important thing to never forget. Because the whole time you've been wondering, where's Hangwani? Like you were wondering, where's Wali? Where's Hangwani? Now we know where Hangwani is, and it ain't funny. We know where Hangwani is. Hangwani, you're on this thing, Baba. You're on this thing. Can do PR, you can do whatever. People can go wherever. But we know that you are in it. I don't know, guys. In the MacG interview, did Andy say he knows his cousin? Or he says he doesn't know his first cousin? Please tell me in the comments. I'm recording. I think that's coming out almost at the same time that I'm recording. So tell me in the comments what was said. But watch this exchange and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yes, I can see them.
You've got page 52 and 53 out of the file.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I actually want you to take them out of the file because I'm going to take you somewhere else in the file, and I want you to be able to look at both at the same time.
State. Oh.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Because this is a rare situation where we actually know what you were doing on the 23rd of December at 10:34. The top of the page, you will see at exactly the same time, 23rd of December 2024, 10:34, you were on the phone. You, in fact, called Kat Matlala. You called him at 10:34:40, but the call may not have gone through because at 10:34:59, Kat Matlala called you back.
That's correct.
And then at 10:35, you texted him iPad guy, name. Does that help you remember what the breakthrough was?
No, it doesn't go together, this one. Because even when he said iPad guy, when I wanted the name of the iPad guy, he never gave me that name. And that's even if he had given me, we would probably say that was the breakthrough. But he never gave me the name.
Sorry, Mr. Mogotsi, I must ask you to answer these questions as an honest witness, not as an operative trying to pursue an operation at this point. You texted the minister at 10:34. And you texted the minister saying, we got a breakthrough.
That's correct.
At 10:34, you had just come off a call, 2 calls in fact, to Mr. Matlala.
That's correct.
And after you texted the minister at 10:34. Less than a minute after, because 10:35 exactly, you text back to Mr. Matlala, iPad guy name.
That's correct. But you see, in this situation, it happens to everyone. When you are chatting with someone and then you receive another call, when you answer that call, the particular person will start chatting to you. It has nothing to do with the breakthrough, unless if the iPad guy's name was given to me and I say, yes, we've got a breakthrough. It was not.
Mr. Mogotsi, I have to put to you that your answer in this regard is false, but let's go through the texts. Let's go back to page 52 to see what happens later on the 24th of December, on the 23rd of December. The minister calls you back at 11:23. Do you often get called by the minister?
Commissioner?
Do you often get called by the minister?
Yeah, he do call me, but you'll find that if we have spoken that day and we continue what we're talking about, probably he'll then call me.
I see. He really seemed to want to get hold of you because he called you twice.
That's correct.
Called you again at 14:49.
That's correct.
And you still can't recall what he was calling about.
I thought, Commissioner, I can't recall. I thought you'll go to the 24th and he asked me about the arrest. You see, if...
sorry, Mr. Mogotsi, I must ask you to answer these questions as they...
I cannot
You can't recall.
Yes.
Let me help you again. Go back to page 45. The minister has called you at 14:49. You've had a conversation with him, apparently.
Who called me Matlala?
No. Go to 52, or you can look behind you at 52, or look to your left at 52.
Yeah.
And you'll see that there's an incoming call from the minister at 14:49.
That's correct.
And then, 7 minutes later, if we go back to page 45,
right,
we see that you've sent Mr. Matlala this message at 10:35 saying iPad guy name, and he hasn't come back to you.
That's correct.
So 7 minutes after the minister calls you, you send him another message. My brother, any news from iPad?
Yes, I can see that. Yeah, that's correct.
Why were you so anxious to get iPad news from Mr. Matlala? Was it that you didn't want to disappoint the minister?
No, the minister did not want the iPad guy. It is me who wanted the iPad guy. It is me who was pushing Kat to give me the iPad guy. And I'm still repeating, commissioners, unless if I send a message, we got a breakthrough, on the other side, we find that Kat has given me the iPad guy's name. Probably that would be the iPad, that would be the breakthrough. That's what will relate to the message of the breakthrough.
But then, sorry, I'm not understanding your answer. Are you saying that the breakthrough would be a breakthrough if Kat had told you who the iPad guy was?
I'm saying the message that you say, I remember, and it is linked to my communication with Kat and the minister, would have made sense. That the portion where I say we got a breakthrough would have made sense, because you imply that I was looking for the iPad guy, simultaneously I was talking to the minister, with our communication differs in seconds. If there was a breakthrough, it means it would have been that iPad guy. So it is not, and I cannot remember this message.
Well, let me suggest you another breakthrough that there may have been.
Mm.
You may have been told that there are grounds to arrest members of the PKTT for allegedly assaulting Mr. Matlala when they arrested him on the 6th of December. And you may have reported that to the minister as a breakthrough.
Probably that would be a prophecy from somewhere.
That could be.
Maybe someone prophesizing. It's not that.
You did by this stage know that Mr. Matlala was alleging that he had been assaulted, he and his wife had been assaulted on the 6th of December.
Yes, I did. And even if those people could have been arrested, there was no need for me to tell the minister.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at the texts again. You've asked Mr. Matlala, still on the 23rd of December at 14:46, my brother, any news from IPID?
That's correct.
Don't get a reply from him, so you call him at 15:39 on that day.
That's correct.
Why would you be calling him? You also called him at 15:40, we see lower down.
And then, me and Kate were talking.
You've asked him twice for details of an IPID guy early in the day and he hasn't got back to you.
Yes, he did not come back to me.
Will you accept that the probabilities are that when you're calling him, you're looking for that IPID guy?
No, there won't be. It would have been the possibility, but if I don't remember, I don't remember. But I'm still saying I was looking for the iPad guy, and the possibility may be that, of course, I was looking for the iPad guy. But it's not easy to convey a message verbally to someone on those things. It's easy to say any iPad guy because I wanted the name. So I would want him probably to type it or to get something tangible.
So, and he hasn't yet told you who the iPad guy is?
He didn't tell me. You'll see in our chats, in some of the chats, he do acknowledges that the iPad guy could not help him and he was not brave enough. It's written in one of the messages. Yeah, there you go. On page 47, he said, on page 47, if you go there, I asked him, iPad guy can be a breakthrough. It's me saying that.
Advocate Chaskalson is a legend. He's a legend. That's the only way that I can describe what he was doing today. The man was playing a symphony with the brown Mogotsi violin. He had him over here like making that man sing when he doesn't want to sing. Brown will try to pull him back. So I think it's clear. General Khumalo was telling the truth. General Mkhwanazi was telling the truth. That much is clear. I don't think we need to be debating, disputing, whatever. And certain people have tried to mislead. They've tried to lie. If I were to write a report today, interim report by the dissection desk, I would say General telling the truth, Khumalo. General Tumsani Khumalo, truthful. General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, truthful. Brown Mogotsi, dishonest. Then I would also implicate and say it does appear as if everything that happened here was an attempt and therefore to disband the political killings task team for the reason of stopping those two men. It's checkmate. It's checkmate. I don't know how the rest of the witnesses are going to have to deal with this. And some of them may have to think strategically now. How do you rather confess? At this point, snitch, confess, jump off this thing before you go to jail with these guys. If you've been a cop arresting everybody, the people waiting for you that side in Khosi Mampuru. You know, there's a guy who was doing a cash in transit heist. He realized he didn't want to go to jail so badly, he just shot himself. Just confess. Because the V curve, with the Mkhwanazi side, they started with Mkhwanazi, Masemola, they went through. Now they're doing a V. They're coming back up. V. So now, what's going to happen? Earlier, I actually said that Khumalo is appearing. I'm not sure there's Khumalo Masemola, but Khumalo will appear also soon in the ad hoc committee. Just thought about. Now the V, we've gone Brown Mogotsi, now are coming up. So Sibia, Paulo Sullivan, all of these guys, I don't know where we get. I don't know if Hangwani will come in here somewhere as an implicated person. But some of you have to realize by now that you got to confess. This thing is moving fast. They got you. They got the text messages. They got the proof of payments. They know your Hosh Karimamas. And those Hosh Karimamas, let me tell you something. They don't want those Turkish delights to be sitting on the bench in prison. They will sing. They will sing. So rather you sing for yourself than let your Hosh Karimama sing. And we already know. We haven't even heard from Tebuko Tobejane. And she may also be coming because she has a vested interest. They try to kill her. Those are the first yellow thighs that got this whole bus rolling. So I think it's checkmate. And I think soon and very soon, we are going to see the Hosh. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the Hosh.